back at it again, and week 15 is right here and just hours away, where this time the New York Football Giants will be going into the Superdome to take on the New Orleans Saints. And, this is a crazy league, the NFL. You got three teams tied for the top spot in the NFC South, where all three teams are under 500 at 6-7. And, this is a really big game for the New Orleans Saints because they're going against a New York Giant football team that, is kind of fun because they got, their new quarterback in Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito, and they call him Tommy Cutlets. But the Giants just really, they're just not that good. At 5-8, they have got an identity. Now they do get Darren Waller back finally. He was a huge acquisition for them in the offseason. Has been one of the biggest busts of the year, as he's had a hamstring just the entire year. And, having him back is a big weapon for that Giant offense. They're gonna do what they do, though. They've had their offensive line shuffled back and forth, all year long, except for the last 4 weeks where they've had a cohesive unit, and it showed. They went into Green Bay and they beat the Packers, and they ran Saquon Barkley, who's their big gun, and this could be a different offense today with Waller and Barkley setting up the pass with the run. On the other side of the coin, Derek Carr is another one that's been kind of a disappointment, a humongous free agent. He signed for $1 bazillion, and they thought he was the second coming, and, get Jameis Winston out of here. We don't need him because we have Derek Carr. And really what it's turned out to, if they'd be in a different division, they'd be on the cusp of being knocked out of the playoffs. As it is, they're fighting for the division title, and, one win away here from in a Tampa and Atlanta loss from being in first place. So what do? We go with our best player, and we get the ball to Alvin Kamara. This guy has been targeted double-digit times, multiple weeks, and why not? He is one of the most electric players in the NFL. And when your wide receiver core is completely banged up, they lost Michael Thomas. Chris Olave is a game-time decision today. And, you've got another weapon over there in Rashid Shaheed, who's finally healthy. He might have to be pressed into a big role today because of all the injuries on the wide receiver side of the ball. You also have Taysom Hill. When you get on the goal line, he's a monster in there, and I feel for Alvin Kamara because he takes away a few of Kamara's touchdowns, but New Orleans doesn't care as long as they get in the end zone. So, what am I thinking in this game? I'm thinking that the Giants have not played this kind of a defense in the last 4 weeks. They played Washington, they played, a banged up Packer team, and this New Orleans defense is really good. This is how they've been able to stay in contention with 6 wins, and I think today they will bottle up Saquon and dare Tommy Cutlets to throw the football, and I think this is a recipe for disaster. I think that in the dome, at home, great footing. I think Danny Cutlets is exposed today, and I think New Orleans covers the 5.5 and beats the Giants. I think Carr will find a way to put 3 touchdowns on the board on a suspect New York defense, and I think they beat the Giants 21-10. This is kind of a yawner, but it doesn't matter because New Orleans really needs this game. So take New Orleans, lay the 5.5, share the video, like the video. You know, we're 11-2-2 in our last 15. Okay? So listen to what I'm saying. I believe this will happen in this game. You know, New Orleans has been a tough team to bet, but in this particular game, it's just too important. The focus will be there, and the defense will show up and crush the Giants today. I'm Mark out.